Well, hello, everyone. Probably going to wait for a few people to join, see how many people jump on in and want to have a chat with us this evening. I thought it might be a bit fun to start counting up my fabric collection and see how we go. Please do let me know if you can't hear me, but yeah, let's see what we can do to have a little bit of fun. Wonder if we've got no one viewing just yet. That's okay. I reckon I'm going to start counting anyway and see what we can do. Now, this one requires a little bit of research. Bonded silk caddy. Well, this one I don't think is silk. Okay. Welcome, welcome. Feel free to say hi in the chat. We are going to be counting up some fabric this evening while I import a bit more of my fabric collection onto thread loop. All right, so we've got a bit of bonded silk caddy. Beautiful, beautiful fabric. This one was used to make Meghan Markle, not this specific roll, but this is the kind of fabric they used to make Meghan Markle's, whatever her name is, the Duchess of Cambridge, her wedding dress. Markle, that's what it is, Meghan Markle's wedding dress. So I have myself a really lovely chunky roll of this. So feel free to pop in the chat how much you think is on this roll. Let me just give you a bit of an idea. It's a fairly hefty amount of fabric on there. Fun bit's going to be rolling it back on afterwards, that's for sure. So let's get this little scrap piece out of the way and get to counting. Oh man, why did I decide to do this? Counting fabric is always lots of fun. There we go. Let's straighten her out. All right, so 1 meter. Now, I've actually got a mark on my sewing table to show me where a meter sits. So, two meters. 3 meters. 4 meters. 5 meters. 6 meters. 7 meters. Whoop. Getting close. 8 meters. I reckon there's going to be 10 meters on there. 9. meters. Do you know what? I don't want to unroll the whole thing. I'm going to call it 10 meters. And now we're going to have loads of fun rolling her back up again. So, has anyone heard of bonded silk caddy before? Kind of feels a little bit like a mix between a crepe and a Deluster Duchess satin. It's this beautiful, flowy but heavy fabric. It's got some super, super lovely qualities in that it drapes and sits really beautifully. And it is beautiful for making wedding dresses and formal dresses, even suits. Makes the most glorious, glorious suits. That's probably what I'm going to do with this one. Might do a bit of a burn test and just double check the type of fibre. I have a sneaking suspicion this one's not actually silk, but I could be wrong. I actually ended up buying a whole... Off, sir! This is not a cat sitting fabric. Here's one of my assistants, otherwise known as one of my cats. No. It doesn't seem to think that the sewing table is off limits, which is quite annoying. All right, let's tie this one back up. So yes, I ended up getting this fabric from a wedding dress designer called Helen Manuel. Absolutely beautiful woman who was trying to get rid of a whole stack of her stash because she was retiring from making wedding dresses, and just did me the most amazing deal on a whole huge amount of fabrics. And I could not be more grateful to her because I have many, many plans for making lots of wedding dresses in future. I want to be doing some charity dresses for people. So if you happen to know someone who's getting married and really just cannot afford their dream dress, maybe they're going through a bit of a hard time, put them on to me. Let's see what we can arrange. Would prefer in Melbourne. So what I'm going to do now is go onto thread loop and create a new fabric. So double bonded caddy. Who wants to do the burn test with me? Let's have a bit of fun. Have you ever done a burn test before? Do we know what it actually is? So a burn test is what you do with fabric when you're not really sure what it actually is. Hey, babe. Apparently, your message got flagged as potential sexual harassment. So I'm not sure how to fix that, but I'm going to have to figure out a way to fix it, because I'm fine with being called babe. Oh, that's pretty funny. All right, I'm going to grab a candle and we're going to do a burn test. And we're also not going to step on poor little Percy. Okay, so burn test. Basically take our little bit of fabric and we burn it to see if it ashes or if it melts. Oh, yep, this is definitely a polyester caddy, because this one smells like plastic and melted like plastic. So we're going to call that one a polyester caddy. We have 10 meters of that. And it's 150 centimeters wide. There we go. So we've got our double bonded caddy. Waiting for photos to load. So if you haven't used Threadloop before, Threadloop is this really fabulous program that you can use to store a bunch of fabrics and notions and patterns, and even do projects to, you know, set up what are you going to be doing with your materials. It's really, really fabulous. There's also an import bot that you can use with it, where you, let's say, for example, you just ordered a bunch of really beautiful crystal satin from Homecraft Textiles, and you know that it's still on Homecraft Textiles website, and you want to go ahead and put the details in using the information from Homecraft Textiles. So you go to the Homecraft Textiles website and you find their listing and you copy, here it is, you copy the URL, you pop it in your bot, and that way you can import the details across without having to manually put everything in, which is really helpful. Because who wants to spend hours manually importing every detail? Where is it? Liquid shimmer satin, that's what they call it. This stuff is absolutely epic and I completely love it. And I bought 6 meters of this beautiful petrol teal and 6 meters of this pale, glorious purple color. This is going to go into making a gown for a friend of mine for a Bridgerton costume. And this one, I don't even know yet. I just loved it and I wanted to have it. Now let's just double check I didn't already put it in Threadloop, because I have been known to do that before. Pop stuff in, forget that I've done it. I have not. So we're going to create a new fabric and import this one. And hope and pray that it does everything I want it to do. That is most definitely not the correct picture. So let's take our own picture then. Take a picture of that one. And while I'm here, I'll take a picture of this one as well. Have you ever tried to photograph purple fabrics? They really, really photograph horribly. And it annoys the hell out of me because it's such a beautiful color. But on screen, I bet that looks grey or white. And it's this gorgeous, yeah, definitely against this purple it does. It's this beautiful lavender purple in person. So here we are. Let's import our own images. And we're going to call it Liquid Shimmer Satin in Petrol. Oh my goodness, it's basically selected every single colour. Fabulous. There we go. This one's a solid. Home Barbie fabrics, interesting. Homecraft Textiles. I don't even remember how much I paid for this one. But there's a lot of information you can put into Thread Loop. It's really fabulous. There we go. Let's have a look and see how much I actually paid for it. So we can pop that in there as well. So here we go, PDF invoice. That's what I'm looking for. Apparently it's taking its time to download, which is great. There we go. $89.94. I'm fairly certain I got both of these on sale, and I know that I have 6 meters of each, so I don't need to stand here and count how many meters I have of these, which is great. But I do need to fold it up and find a home for it, which is going to be all sorts of fun. I don't have many spots left. And I'm now banned from buying fabric, probably for the rest of my life. But I have a really lovely husband who is very forgiving and doesn't really... He's not a controlling man. He's a lovely man who spends his time just wanting me to be happy. And I do the same for him, which means I overindulge in fabric quite a bit. So I've made a promise that between now and the end of the year I will buy no more fabric, and I hope that I'm shopping my stash and not buying new fabrics for projects. That is the aim of the game. If I have it all catalogued and I can see what I've got, I'm not going to go buy more fabric. I'm just going to shop my own stash. It's nothing worse than knowing you bought some absolutely gorgeous fabric and not knowing where the hell it is. So let's get this folded. Oof. It's not the easy stuff to fold. I think I have a little bit of room in box 2. Do I? Definitely don't have room in box 1. Don't have a lot of room in box 2. I have a little bit of room in the top of box 6. So she's going in the top of box 6, and I think this one will also go in the top of box 6. Oh, there is a distinct right side and wrong side with this one. So how do you like to store your fabrics? Because I have mine in shelves, in boxes, mostly away from the sunshine as much as possible, so that I can make sure they're nice and protected. Oh, it is a lot sheerer than I thought it was. Huh, I can see you. Hello. With with a couple of layers of lace over that. I don't think you'll even notice, which is great. Or even just with a nice lining underneath it. Oh, I wonder how I wonder how it looks with a different color lining. That could be interesting. I have some intentions of potentially making a shirt for my lovely husband out of some of this, which would be interesting. He loves something a little bit flashy. But we'll see. Uh-oh, I've lost an edge. There it is. You ever tried working with loose weave fabrics? They're absolutely beautiful. Lovely silky, most silky fabrics are loose weave fabrics. They're beautiful on once you're done with them. They're a nightmare to work with. Absolute nightmare. Because they do not like to go where you want them to go. They have a mind of their own. They like to wander all over the place. Just like this one is. They are slippery. Oh, this is going to be fun to sew with, this one. I can tell. I can't even get it to sit flat on the cutting table. All right. Both of those are going in box 6. So we've got cutting room. Where are we? Location. Box 6 cutting room. And let's import another fabric. Got another 6 meters. The good thing is I can literally just import the same thing, delete the photo, put in my photo, and add the details later. There we go. Okay, let's go back to all fabric. Currently sitting at 523 meters of fabric. Woof! Okay. Now I know how much I have of this beautiful fabric. I got this from Potter & Co. I have 2 meters of it, and it's this gorgeous silk cotton blend. So that needs to go back in its spot on the other side of the table. You know what? Oh, where have I said that it lives? Let's filter. We're putting it in box 1. There is enough room in box 1 for this fabric. That's where most of my other Potter & Co fabrics live, so that's where it can live as well. Okay. Now I have here a very beautiful fabric, which is called Cotton Coutil. And you've seen me work with this before. So I've worked with really gorgeous cream cotton coutil, This is a black cotton coutil, and this one's actually for an order of a corset that someone has asked me to make. So it's going to go in the box with the rest of my cotton coutil, which, there we go, is box 2. So now what we're going to do is go to the Stitch Parlour. Do I have a Stitch Parlour page open? I do not. The Stitch Parlour. There we go, Stitch Parlour. And I'm going to get the URL and the details for this fabric and pop her on in. So we're going to shop, fabric and trims, corsetry fabric, double coutil. I've got it in black and I bought a meter. So let's put her in thread loop. We're going to add a new fabric, use our import bot, 1 meter. That is not the right picture. It's the only annoying thing sometimes is when you're using other people's websites, sometimes it picks up the wrong picture. There we go. So let's put in the correct picture. That one. And I will add the details. Oh, we're just going to say where we've put it. So that's in cutting room box 2. Great. There we go. All fabrics. Okay, next fabric. Okay. This here is a gorgeous, gorgeous Chantilly lace that I bought from Silk and Stitch. And I've used some of this previously. I ended up doing a mystery bag with them. And hello, whoever's just joined us. So I did a mystery bag with Silk and Stitch, and I had ordered from them before a mystery bag and ended up with about 12 meters of this fabric. Feel free to jump in the comments and say hello. And then I ordered from them again and got another bundle of it, but I don't actually know how much I've got. I have, excuse me, sir, this is not a kitten sitting situation. This is a kitten must not sit on mummy's fabric situation. I don't know what it is, but my cats absolutely love sitting on really luxurious fabrics like laces and silks and all those sorts of things. Get off. Get off. Do I need to get the hose? Off. For context, world's most spoiled cat. You need to get off my fabric. Off. Off my fabric. Get off my table, in fact. Off. Get off. Good boy. Okay. Three meters. 4 meters. 5 meters. 6 meters. 7 meters, 8 meters, 9 meters, 10 meters. How many meters do we think are going to be there? 11 meters. 12 meters. 13 meters. 14 meters. Woo! Okay, let's fold her up now. That's the real fun bit. So this is a lovely poly fabric. Not entirely happy that it's polyester, but you know what? For $50 for 14 meters, I am not upset at all because it does handle beautifully. I have made a dress with this before for a friend. I absolutely love how this fabric drapes. So a friend of mine recently turned 40 and wanted a dress inspired by Kylie Minogue and one of her absolutely beautiful dresses that she wore, Marc Jacobs dress I think it was, can't even remember anymore, but she wore for a concert somewhere in Europe, and it was this white transparent corset with satin cups, and the skirt was all these many layers of different types of fabrics, and that's what it ended up being. And she absolutely loved it. Sure, I can find a photo at some point, but I will have to block out her face, given I haven't asked her if I can share her face online. Do love making a wee dress, always a bit of fun. Anyone made anything out of some really beautiful bridal lace? That sounds like my dinner. So we might need to pause pretty soon. I'm going to go have a bit of din-dins. Might jump back on a bit later, although, do you know what, on a Tuesday night, I feel like potentially everybody's busy chilling out, getting ready for the week. But if you do have any questions, what's really great is we've got a Discord. So you can jump into Discord, ask any questions you've got. I'm going to refine Discord a little bit as we go. Welcome to whoever's just jumped in. Please feel free to introduce yourself in chat and ask any questions. Just in the process of folding up 14 meters of this beautiful lace fabric. And yes indeed, it is very heavy. I'm probably whacking my microphone all over the place as I'm trying to talk, given that it's on my chest, and I keep on smacking fabric into my chest. Oh, I'm finally at the other end. Woot! Alright. Folding 14 meters of fabric on your own is not loads of fun. Genuinely, not loads of fun. I could probably go yoink my delightful husband. But I think he's busy chillaxing, which he deserves to be doing, because he is fabulous. He's one of those beautiful, supportive husbands that watches my streams, even if he's probably got me on mute. He does actually watch, which is lovely. And that there is 14 metres of lace. You don't have me on mute. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so let's update the listing for the lace. I'm pretty sure I put this one in at 10 metres of lace, and I have more than I thought. Where is my lace? I have 122 different types of fabric already listed on here. And I am not even close to halfway through. There we go. All right, well, my dinner just told me it's ready, so I'm going to have some dinner, pop a little pause in place. We'll be right back, and I'll see you all later on this evening. Thanks for joining me.